Hello and welcome to Too Long Didn't Read Dota News. There's been a lot of Dota in a very small amount of time, with the International 6 Open and main qualifiers just finishing, and we have our entire TI squad assembled. Almost. If you want to watch any of the games that I mentioned in this episode, links to highlights and VODs can be found in the video description, and there's a lot of great ones that you guys should check out. So, to start off, the International 6 teams were invited, with 2 teams from each region directly qualifying. The last 2 slots will be determined in Seattle, with a 3rd place from every qualifier battling it out in a double elimination wildcard tournament. The Open qualifiers had the most attention of any Open qualifier for a Valve event yet. With superstar teams EG and Secret both facing Opens, tensions were high to see if these teams could battle their way through the best of ones. Other notable teams were also in these Opens. Now let's start out in China. So in China, Newbie Young, CDEC Avenger, and Vici Gaming were all in the Opens, with Vici qualifying through the first Open and Newbie Young qualifying in the second. In Southeast Asia, previous C favorites TNC brought in Jimmy, or Demon, to the team and faced the Opens. Now they lost the first Open qualifier, with White Fries Gaming eventually being the first C Open team. TNC pulled it together to win the second Southeast Asian Open qualifier. In Europe, we saw a terrifying lineup of teams all hoping to escape the Opens, with teams such as Team Secret, Pro Dota, Polarity, Elements, Team Spirit, Fantastic Five, Kai-P, Danish Bears, and more. Team Secret won the first Open qualifier, but it really wasn't a smooth ride. At the end of day 1, they struggled against Comanche, the stack from last year that we knew as Yellow Submarine, as they drafted an unstoppable Timbersaw. Secret lost a set of barracks fairly early, around the 30-33 minute mark. They managed to hold on as Dirty Slark pickers and turn the game around, winning the game about 10 minutes later. Now again, on the start of day 2, they were close to being eliminated. They played Pro Dota, with Garter on a Sven that tore through Secret's heroes. Secret lose a barracks early again and slowly battle their way back. As they're fighting in Pro Dota's base, Secret almost lose their Ancient to Garter as he TPs in and gets the Ancient down to a 3rd HP. Secret managed to kill the Sven and descend on Pro Dota's base, taking the game. Now after this point, Secret easily take their last best of 1 up against Team Toast, and then 2-0 victories up against Team Spirit and Danish Bears, earning themselves a slot in the main qualifiers. Round 2 of Open qualifiers saw Fantastic Five winning the 2nd spot, with favorites Kai-P being eliminated in the round of 32 by ELAB. The Americas Open qualifiers were not as eventful, with EG gliding easily into winning the first Open qualifier. Now in typical NA fashion, several of the teams we would have expected to be invited into the mains had roster changes and were forced to face Opens. Notable teams in Opens were the Caster Stack Vegetable Esports, several South American teams like Lucchini and Pain Gaming, North American teams Shazam, Void Boys, the Ritsu Stack called EG Bulba, and again several other promising teams hoping to escape the Opens. Now, Shazam were favorites after EG, and they were knocked out by EG in the first Opens, and then surprisingly by Void Boys in the second Opens. Void Boys went on to win the second America's Open qualifiers. Whew. Now, from the excitement of the Opens, we moved into the main qualifiers. Valve gave us a different format this time. Every team played each other in a best-of-1 round-robin format. First place in each region automatically qualifies for TI, with the next top 4 teams playing a double elimination bracket for 2nd and 3rd place and their trips to Seattle. Now, while this format does allow every team to play each other and not have potentially unbalanced group stages, it does result in several ties in each of these regions. So in Southeast Asia, the second Open qualifier team, TNC, comes out on top of a 3-way tie between Fnatic, TNC, and Execration. When C completed, Fnatic take the second TI spot, with Execration starting off in the wildcard tournament. In China, Wings and eHome were tied for first, with Wings winning the tiebreaker and securing their spot at the International. The grand finals saw eHome versus Vici Gaming Reborn. The games were back and forth with teams trading wins. Game 4 looked like a VGR victory with their hard-to-kill cores and very strong push coming out from a Lycan. But eHome repeatedly has buyback on their Clinks and manages to close out the game and bringing the series to a Game 5. Unfortunately here they did fall to Vici Gaming Reborn, sending eHome into the wildcards and VGR into the main event. Now in the European qualifiers, we had several very intense games. The first round resulted in a three-way tie between Escape Gaming, Fantastic Five, and Team Secret. Team Secret take the win in the tiebreakers, taking almost an hour to break the base of Escape and finally winning the game at 71 minutes. The double elimination bracket that followed gave us some incredible games. Alliance showcased their teamwork, pulling off some insane wombo combos to knock finem into the lower bracket. Escape Gaming managed to escape elimination from the lower bracket against Fantastic Five with an insane base race. And this brings us to the grand finals with Alliance up against Escape Gaming. Now game 1 was incredible with Escape dominating for most of the game, but a surprise rapier purchase from Loda on Terrorblade gives Alliance the surprise burst, and they managed to turn the game around with Kezu Chronos unable to stop Alliance from beating down the throne. Escape take game 2 but are unable to win the series. Alliance wins 3-1, directly qualifying to TI and sending Escape into the wildcards. Now the Americas gave us a little bit of surprise here, with Cole managing to upset EG in a best-of-1 and tie for first place. EG wins the tiebreakers and takes the first qualifier spot at TI. FDL and Void Boys fall easily to Cole and DC, and we see Cole vs DC in a full best-of-5 final series. DC stomped Cole in games 1 and 2, making it look like game 3 will be an easy win for DC for them to take the series. But Cole surprised us and fight their way through the next 2 games, managing to win and tie the series up 2-2. Game 5 was a 63-minute bloodbath with buybacks, lost set of racks on both sides, and eventual DC victory. So after the dust settles, here are your 14 confirmed TI teams, with Execration, eHome, Escape, and Cole still left to fight in the wildcards for the last 2 slots. Now coming up, we have the Nanyang Championships, the Summit, and Star Ladder. These will all be played before the International, so these are the last places where the teams can hone their strategies for heading into the big event, and the last chances for us to pick our favorites. Thanks for watching this episode of TLDR. I'll see you guys next time.